Breaking news, the first big gravel event of the year has been canceled, a new bike drop from Crust, and then just a bunch of weird stuff. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the New Hotness, your weekly update of all things alt cycling. Still on Instagram, so you don't have to be. A lot to cover, so let's get into it. The first one is the gravel event Midsouth that takes place in Stillwater, Oklahoma, has been canceled because of wildfires. Truly, the pictures and the video coming out of Stillwater look pretty apocalyptic. They were able to run the running part of the race, but then canceled the bicycling part after the fires just escalated, the winds kicked up, parts of the town were burning, hotels were being evacuated. It looked like quite the scene. This is a video from the Ottawa Bike and Trail channel. This is a bike shop based in Ottawa, Kansas. And you can see it just looks like a kind of windy, smoky hellscape. At this moment in the video, they hadn't quite called the race yet, but clearly things got worse. He had to run back to his hotel because it was getting evacuated. They ended up finding lodging like an hour away in town. If you want to see his take of the events unfolding, then check out Ottawa Bike and Trail. But more importantly, if you do want to help the folks that suffered damage from the wildfires there, then check out the Midsouth Gravel website. In their shop, there is an option to give Stillwater wildlife relief. 100% of this collection will go to Stillwater families and agencies involved with wildlife recovery. I know a bunch of brands and friends of ours were there to participate, to race. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope the community of Stillwater is doing okay. And if you do want to help out, check out the Stillwater Wildfire Relief. And Bobby, just hang in there. Okay, on to less serious news. Really interesting collab here from Blue Lug and Brooks. You guys would know one of the hot sellers from Blue Lug is their triangle reflectors. And here it's classed up with all the leather with this Brooks collab. So nice and cushioned reflector with a leather Brooks backing as one would expect. It also looks as if they're just adding some splashes of color to the laces of some Brooks saddles. Here you can see the perfect combo. Pretty classy looking. It also looks as if they're doing some engraving of some names of particular riders there. I do think it was a collaboration that was just waiting to happen. They actually just went down to England and did a factory tour. It's up on their YouTube channel. So if you want to see a Brooks factory tour all the way in Smethwick, England, through the lens of the Blue Lug folks, then check out their YouTube channel. It is in Japanese, but you can use auto translation and captions so you can understand it just fine. Moving on, last week, Crust released the Derecho. A couple weeks before, we saw them put up a stupid tourist sample for sale, and now the frame set is finally available. So what is the stupid tourist? It is a 20-inch wheeled touring bike, and as you can see here, it uses the couplers from the Ritchie breakaway system. He puts clearly in the notes that although it does look like a BMX bike, it is not a BMX bike. It's designed to split away. The idea being that a breakaway bike is easier for travel, and an even smaller one would be even easier. As you can see from the frame here, we've got 3-pack mounts on the floor. Looks like it has eyelets for a rack, swinging dropouts. Apparently there are 2 versions, one for rim brakes and as well as disc brakes. And the paint scheme is pretty subtle, but it has like this birthday cake theme going on, which I think is actually pretty sweet. Leave it up to Crust. The bike comes in 2 sizes, a small and a large. There's some guidance here in terms of which bike you should get. One hilarious note on the webpage is this: the largest head tube is so long that the Park Tool HHP2 headset press will not work with it. You will have to use a hammer and a block of wood. Seriously. If you want some help with it, order a headset from us and ask us to have it pressed on in the notes section of your order. And I totally believe them because, like, with the bike behind me, the headset is pretty long, and I was just barely able to get the Unior headset press to work with it. That is one of the interesting challenges of small bikes, especially if you don't want to have like a huge gang of spacers. They just don't make headset presses long enough. Okay, back to the Instagram. This is an account that I don't know if many of you are aware of, maybe if you're in the Portland area, but this is Bike Recyclery. They sell a lot of interesting new old stock, and here they have a titanium 8-speed cassette, new in box, new old stock, 12 to 32 with a drilled lock ring, So if you're into like really hard to find and rare parts and on occasion bikes, then you should definitely follow this account. Just going through, you'll see all sorts of really rare brakes, really interesting stems, a lot of cool 80s and 90s mountain bike stuff passes through their shop. Here's one bike freshly listed on bikerecyclery.com. Stunning 84 Moots Mountaineer. So before Moots got into titanium, they were building lightweight steel bikes. Who knew? Other cool things here, a truly new old stock, absurdly rare treasure from the end of Cook Quality Products history, circa 1991. So some fresh and minty Cook cranks in the plastic packaging with the stickers and everything. Doesn't appear to be mounted, so pretty cool. So if you're trying to cop some 80s and 90s, new old stock mountain bike parts, then definitely give Bike Recyclery a follow and check out their website. Moving on, this is a interesting build from LA Bike Shop. This is a Rivendell Roduno, and you can see here it's using a Paul chain tensioner, and it's set up as a 3x, using a triple crankset and one cog in the back to get those 3 speeds. I've actually seen, I think Blue Lug might have posted a build, or Circles Japan, one of the two had posted a build similar to this. So one in the rear, but multiple chain rings in the front. Definitely a funky build. If I get a bike and the parts just line up, this might be something I might experiment with. Of course, it's blinged out with all the sweet Paul parts. But what do you guys think of this concept, doing a 3x1 3-speed? I'm all about it. At least, they're still using front derailleurs because, like our sticker says, save the front derailleur. All right, it's time to get weird. One of the interesting events that happened this weekend in Berlin was the Mini Bike Festival. This is a cool modification of a Omnium. I believe it's the Mini Max. This is done by Abbas Longtail. We interviewed him in our video at Bespoked. But if you can see what's going on, he modified the rear end, replacing the 700C wheel with, of course, a 20-inch wheel to fit in the theme. I know some of you are going to be asking why, and the answer, my friends, is why not. So here's some shots of Abbas modifying the frame. This is a newish show, the Mini Bike Festival. It looked more like a hangout. It came up rather quick, so we couldn't budget for it. But if they do it again next year, then we'll try to go. More along those lines, check out this bike. This is from an account called 20-inch Ultras. And this is a mashup of all the things. It's got a coaster. I believe it has a coaster single speed a la Monet bikes. It's got this clunker style frame, and of course, a truss fork. But wait, there's more. It's also got a dynamo hub. Cool little way to fasten a wrench. I dig it. If you guys are into mini velos, small bikes, SMOL bikes, or just want to see some really goofy bike fun, then check out 20-inch Ultras. As the name would suggest, a focus on smaller wheeled bikes. I told you things were going to get weird. Again, these are pictures from the Mini Bike Fest. It happened at a place called Kraftwerk Berlin. So this is that account. You can see the variety of bike goofiness. This is interesting. It says Journeyman Cycles. I don't know if that's a builder or what have you. But again, digging those small 20-inch wheel tradesman cycle truck style bikes. And not to be outdone, in the US, there is this custom e-cargo bike builder in Bentonville, Arkansas called Naro Bike Company. And you can see some of their builds here. And what's unique about this company is that they're actually taking old frames and modifying them to become electric cargo bikes. They have a website here, narrowbikeco.com, and you can read all about their process. It says, our passion lies in rescuing discarded bikes and giving them a second chance. So you can see on the right here, they're taking in any manner of 80s or 90s mountain bike, and using custom jigs, they reshape the frame to create a stable cargo platform optimized for carrying groceries, kids, or gear. Aside from just adding the cargo bike stuff, it looks like they're also updating the components with modern hydraulic disc brakes, OEM motors, lithium batteries, and a Shimano drivetrain. So that's a pretty cool use of older bicycles, recycling them, giving them a second life as a cargo bike. And then moving on, it looks as if Brompton has come out with a C-Line 12-speed, and the brilliant YouTube channel Brilliant Bikes, they're a Brompton dealer somewhere in the UK, has done a very thorough comparison of the C-Line 12-speed and how it differs in terms of the rear triangle and all that stuff. So if you're considering a Brompton C-Line 12-speed or have an older bike and are thinking about upgrading to the Brompton C-Line 12-speed and are curious about what's different, then head over to the Brilliant Bikes YouTube channel. Very thorough video and it will answer all your questions. In other news, chains subject to steel tariffs, some cables, and other products. Again, the continuing trade war with tariffs on steel and aluminum, the two main materials that lots of bikes and bike parts are made out of, are going to be tariff. Maybe, maybe not, depending on country of origin and whether it comes on the complete bike or not. If you want to keep your finger on the pulse with how bike pricing is going to be impacted by all the shenanigans that are happening in this timeline, then of course check out Bicycle Retailer. Lots of interesting and kind of sad industry news. You know, Marita, one of the big investors in Specialized, you know, things aren't going well. People, things aren't going well. On a more uplifting note, someone had posted this Instagram account on our Discord server. Reminded me worth sharing. Jen Green head badges. If you guys want a custom head badge for your bike, she does some wonderful, intricate work. Looks like you can get some enameled colors. I mean, is your bike actually custom until it has a custom head badge? Pretty cool. I love the multicolor designs here, like a touch of copper in the eyes of the skull. Wow, that's pretty cool. Just an absolute joy to flip through to see all the creative designs that she's done in the past. This one looks like it's got a little bit of a 3D relief here. Nice, silver stallion. So much cool stuff. So if you're looking to really personalize and bling out your bike with a custom head badge, then check out Jen Green head badges on the gram or headbadges.com. Okay, so this isn't new, but it's new to me. It's been raining tons here in Spain. I've buckled and have gone full-on poncho. The folks over at La Chouette sent over one of the people's ponchos for me to try out and review. If you're in the EU and need a poncho, then definitely check them out. Here's a quick shot of me riding back from a video shoot with the poncho and the Omnium cargo bike. It works shockingly well. My main motivation for going the poncho route is doing these quick errands. My pants were constantly getting wet, and it's just the grossest feeling to go out to dinner with like wet pants, you know? Not the most aerodynamic thing. One cool thing about the People's Poncho is that it has snaps on the side, so you can make it more functional for when you're off the bike, if you're just at camp, if you're at a festival, if you're walking your dog. All the ponchos come with their own carrying bag. I've tried a few ponchos in my life as a bike commuter. Everything from the super cheap Tyvek ones to Clever Hood I had in Portland. This is somewhere in between. It is definitely leagues better than just like a cheap plastic or Tyvek poncho, but it's also lighter in weight than the Clever Hood, which I actually prefer. The one thing about the Clever Hood is that they're kind of big and bulky and it can get hot fairly quickly. This one strikes a nice balance. I'll probably do a little bit more of an in-depth video on this, a couple weeks down the road. But just to let you know, it's still rainy season, and if you want to get a poncho, check out the People's Poncho. And if you're in the EU, La Chouette has it in stock. I posted a picture of these shoes on the grams. I got tons of questions about who it was made by. So these are Strong Feet Athletics. You can see the text big and bold there. And these are foot-shaped, barefoot style cycling shoes. So the last is such that it's shaped like your foot. It's not narrow and pointy like most cycling shoes are. And this is something I've wanted for a long time, albeit in a flat pedal version. They may expand their line depending on how things go, but this is like the personal project mission of one person. It's taken him 8 years to bring it to market, going through 13 factories to find one that'll do it just the way he wants. And I gotta say that they are actually really good. Definitely the widest and most foot-shaped cycling shoe I have ever tried. You know, I've made many videos trying to find a shoe like this, albeit in the flat pedal version. They are for sale now, and they aren't cheap. You gotta keep in mind, this is a 1 or 2 person show. This is a niche product. This is their first product, and they're just not benefiting from any economies of scale at this point. But I definitely think it has legs or feet in this case. So if you want to see more foot-shaped shoes, if you want a road shoe specifically, although I am running it with a Shimano mountain bike cleats and it works fine, then check out Strong Feet Athletics. Lastly, time for signal boost, and I'm gonna be a little bit selfish. This is a YouTube channel of a friend of mine, Aaron Vasquez in LA. Also goes by Area 54, 45, Area 54 on the grams. His channel is all about randonneuring, coffee, general like bike nerdery in the LA area. And one of these recent videos, he does a coffee outside chat with Mick from 100 Tacos, kind of a well-known bike and taco brand in Los Angeles. They've catered a bunch of events over at Golden Saddle and now over at LA. It's just a nice chill video. You know, I grew up in Los Angeles and was, you know, quasi part of the scene. So it's cool to hear some of the backstory of some of the events and how his brand got going, all that good stuff. If you like bikes, coffee, randonneuring, then go check out Aaron Vasquez's YouTube channel. All right, that's a lot. OBS says I've recorded 31 minutes of video already. I don't know what this is going to be cut down. But if you guys have been enjoying the new hotness, then check out this playlist of other episodes. And please consider supporting the channel by joining us on Patreon, buying some merch, all that good stuff. And as always, keep the supple side down.